Hi. Good to see you all. Hope you're good today. It's been such a whirlwind last week. It feels strange to be in my house on my own. No friends or guests. Just just me and all, however many hundred of you were out there hanging out. Been thinking about a life lived in the nooks and crannies around Boston, and that's gonna be our theme today. I'm gonna start with a song written pretty recently, reflecting on some parts of that life. Walking along a beach in the North Shore around Ipswich. I must be driving in the wrong direction, 'cause each day gets farther from feeling like home. I must be striving without reflection, 'cause each day gets farther from feeling like home. Little moon guide me on, counting my paces, dust on my laces. Walking with ghosts, letting go what is gone. Trying to tell us quietly the things I have today. Little moon, throw just a little glow to guide my way. And I've made so many mistakes, but without each and every one of them, I would not be in this place. And I try to throw the would have beens and could have beens away, and practice my falling with grace, and feel the wind whisper on my face. Just surviving my imperfections. When days are farther from feeling like home. Little moon, guide me on, counting my paces, dust on my laces. Walking with ghosts, letting go what is gone. Trying to tell us quietly the things I have today. Little moon, throw just a little glow to guide my way. Little moon, guide me on, counting my paces, dust on my laces. Walking with ghosts, letting go what is gone. Trying to tell us quietly the things I have today. Little moon, throw just a little glow to guide my way. To guide my way. Well, okay. So that's kind of new. Called Little Moon. Little Moon. So new, it's not even a contender for the album that we're working on with the band. Which I suppose is a shame. But man, after these last months gathering with you all, I feel like we have about 10 albums worth of music to be working on together. And when I say together, I mean you all. You all too. Inspired by the last studio album that we came out with, Hurricane Wind, I learned a lesson that my music is better when it is created through sharing it with the people who care most about the music. And that was an inspiring process last time. And I've talked about this a little bit, but man, I'm really excited to. We already have, like, I don't know the number, 20 videos of us behind the scenes in the studio over the last year and a half. I mean, we've been working towards this thing, wanting to share it with you, but there's a lot of stuff to do. But at some point, we're gonna figure out a way that you all can be involved in the process as we kind of get into the down and dirty of our recording, building the album. How about we do another Boston song, huh? I just saw a question from Supergirl. So the last time we did kind of the fan involvement, we did it through a company called Pledge, right? And usually people call it a fan funding campaign, and yeah, for sure, we are gonna lean on our community to make the album. I think, as much, but just like the Gathering series, I don't believe that it should depend on whether or not you are able to afford it, whether or not you can be involved. So we are trying to be creative right now and figure out ways that, like, you know what? Just like the Gathering, you can just show up and enjoy and be a part of it. That's the way that feels right, at least for me and for us right now. And amazingly, just like with the Gathering series, we don't ask for help, and help continues to come, and I feel grateful for that. And so, anyways. I'm gonna tune that string. Some of you guys having trouble hearing? Let me fix that. Hopefully it's a little bit better for you. Now reminder of her father was back in the day. And she knows I can't be with her, but she loves me anyway. I am driving into Boston town. And I am listening to the radio sound. And I am wondering if I did it right. Same old questions I ask every night. I'm gonna get down, yeah. I'm gonna rattle it out. And I'm gonna bounce back, and I'm gonna leave no doubt. 'Cause I'm on a mission, yeah. And I'm over the ground, back to the city of a small town. I'd work out in Chicago, but I left it for the road. And I'm living out my suitcase in the trunk where it is stored, yeah. And I am come on into store drive, watching springtime as it comes alive. I think I keep it as a souvenir. Sing it loud enough for you to hear that I'm gonna get down, I'm gonna rattle it out, and I'm gonna bounce back in, and I'm gonna need no doubt, 'cause I'm on a mission, yeah. Ain't I'm over the ground, back to the city of a small town. So it's back to where I started, yeah. Guess I knew I'd come around. Stay with family till I get my feet back on the ground, yeah. And I miss the barbecues out in the lawn, summer swimming down that old mill pond. I even miss the icy winter winds. Sweet New England, I am home again. I'm gonna get down, I'm gonna rattle it out, I'm gonna bounce back again, I'm gonna leave no doubt, 'cause I'm on a mission, and I'm over the ground, hell yeah, back to the city of a small town. Yay. Woo. Cheers. It's nice to be with you tonight. It has been a fun last couple nights. Last night with Karina, night before with Poche. Tomorrow night, I'm getting together with the whole band, and we're all gonna play for you. How's that? I'm pretty excited about that. So that was an old song. Don't know what year I released release that song. But I wrote it. Some of you know a little of the backstory. I started playing music in Chicago right out of college. And I spent some time playing there. I spent some time kind of living out of my car, playing on the road as much as I could in any tiny little place that would let me play. And then I drove back to Boston. I wanted to make my musical stand there. Maybe put a band together. I didn't know at the time. I remember driving back. It was springtime. I remember driving back into Boston and just feeling like, oh man, I'm coming home. Yeah. So that's what inspired that last song. It's called Small Town City. And but the next song I want to share with you is a song. I've also played at the gathering maybe once or twice, but it is inspired by the little town that I grew up in outside of Boston called Wayland, Massachusetts. And some of my first a lot of my first most formative memories of most things I did happened in Wayland. But also, I remember sneaking out of the house and we would run through the woods. Me and Mike Murata would play guitar together by a little brook. And I didn't really know how to play guitar at the time. He would teach me a couple chords and I would play chords. I'd try and play chords in time. And he would solo over my chords and we would jam under the stars, in the trees, next to the brook for hours. It was the coolest thing. This is a song called Side to Side, and it was written after I'd come back to Boston. Just reminiscing about the place that I grew up and the memories I had. Also old school, for you old school listeners. Grew up in the backwoods of a small town, hometown. I'd sneak out through the backyard where the boys would be waiting around. We'd go quipping and the night was our time. I remember the way that the moon would shine, all of the mischief done and the lessons learned, the times I kicked on through and the times I was burned. It's not so far that I can't see. There's still a part of me. It's the highest high. It's the paths we fly. It's an unpaved road. It's a rocky ride. And all I can do is shake my head from side to side. Saw her staring at me. It was a look I had never seen. She said to me ever so slow as she came around. I remember the way that she laid me down, and all of the wonder and the mystery, as I glimpsed the man that I would learn. Not so far that I can't find. paths we fly. It's a new paved road, it's a rocky ride, and all I can do is shake my head from side to side. Now I'm steady, keeping time to all those things I've left behind. Fill up the tank as I head west out of town. Turn the radio up to my favorite sound. A guitar strumming with the sound of the wheels on Highway 9. And I wonder, will I remember this day for the rest of the time? It's the highest high. Paths we fly. It's a new paved road, it's a rocky ride, and all I can do is shake my head from side to side. That's called Side to Side. Surprise, surprise. And it's funny for me, you know, songs like that one really, I remember the streets, right? It was back in those days before cell phones and GPS, right? Where you knew, right? You knew the way to all your friends' houses in town. I did. And really, you had to, you know, how many of your friends' numbers had you memorized back in the day, right? When there were no cell phones, right? People had landlines. I can't remember how many friends I had whose numbers I had here, but you remembered street names and directions and numbers. Well, as some of you gatherers know, as many of you gatherers know, and it's becoming more so, right, when I have gathering nights to myself. Every time it's you and me, we don't have some agenda to take care of. It's amazing however many shows we have in. There are so many. It feels like so much to do all the time, isn't there? But I try to share a song that I haven't shared with you yet. And tonight is I'm going to share a song that I never played for anyone. Not true. I have never played it for anyone in a performance. That is true. And it's early. It's an early song. One of my very, very first songs. I was 18 years old when I wrote this song, and I know that because I had just come back from my freshman year in college, and I was home for winter break. I was home for winter break with all my other buddies that were home for winter break or were working locally, right? So, uh, it was a month or two of hanging with my friends that I'd grown up with back in my old town after being away. And one of my friends, one of my best buddies, he'd gone off to school and had a fine semester. And at the end of the semester, people were celebrating, and somebody had at a party right before leaving for break, someone at a party had given him some acid, and he'd taken it, and it flipped him a little bit, and he didn't come down the next day. He actually went into one of his finals still tripping on acid. That is not the way to have a good trip. And it took him, and he came home after break, and he was still gone. He was, it just, all the things that we take for granted that we know, and we think of as reality. They're neural pathways in our brain, and his neural pathways were not firing in the right places, which made a lot of what he was experiencing when we would hang out like kind of almost unrecognizable, and it made things really confusing for him, really scary. It was scary for me as one of his buddies, and we would do stuff. We would take our friend with us whenever we were hanging out, because the alternative was he was just gonna kind of sit and stew in his place, and so we would go out, and we would take him with us and try and engage him, help him, and it was scary. And I remember one day, my dad is an awesome sculptor, and we were over at my dad's place, and he had some clay down in the basement. So I brought out some clay. We spent an afternoon, making sculptures with clay, because it was just, to me, it was just like, okay, let's find an outlet. Let's figure something out, and it was really telling. He during our little clay time, he made this mask, this mask that was completely devoid of like human expression. And I thought that was like so telling. The name of this song is called Mask. And it comes from one night we were down in a basement of one of my parents' place, and just hanging out, having some beers, and my buddy Mike, who I would sneak out into the woods and play guitar. He had a guitar and I had a guitar, and we were playing together, and we brought Neil. It was just us and Neil hanging out, and we just started playing, and we were trying to encourage Neil to like connect in one way or another through the music, and this was the song that came out at the end of that night. So anyways, cool to know now he's fine and great and wonderful, and we're still buddies, and talk all the time, and he's got an amazing family and an amazing life. It was a scary few weeks there for a long while. And so anyways, this is like, again, we talk about playing some of the early stuff. This is like, right, this is me just figuring out how to be a songwriter and writing a song with some of my friends, try and get some stuff out. So anyways, thought it would be fun to share it with you because it certainly brings up a lot of memories for me. Colors are in my mind. So many things I leave behind. So many days have passed me by in the solemn blank of my eye. How can I find my way home from this journey that's done me wrong? And I must find my way home before another day has gone. Autumn leaves are red and brown, and in my mind is my hometown. And when I'm with good friends of mine, I am lost in my own time. How can I find my way home from this journey that's done me wrong? And I must find my way home before another day has gone. Light brown mask will take my place to a world that I can't face. All their lips, they point my way, but I can't understand what they say. I can't understand. Won't you help me understand? Yep, that was little 18-year-old Adam writing that song. And oh, thanks for the claps. And it's hard to imagine, right, that that song's been just kind of sitting in a notebook for 25 years, and this is the first time I get to share it with people. I think that that's really cool. Cheers. Thanks for listening. All right. Enough of that. Let's see. Okay. So let's graduate to the next chapter. Fast forward, out of college. Found myself living in Somerville, Massachusetts. And it's funny because before the gathering started, when I would say a sentence like that, I would just assume that a lot of people would know what I was talking about. But there are people that are going to be watching this from all over the world, from Brazil and Germany. By the way, if you are tuning in from other countries, thank you so much. That is one of the things about the Gathering series that blows my mind. That somehow you've found me and us, and that you're here. It's funny. Yeah. Somerville, Massachusetts. Somerville is a little city that is tucked right in. So there's Boston right by the Atlantic Ocean. And kind of scooting through Boston to points west in a really snake-like fashion is a river called the Charles River. And Boston is kind of south of nestled right up against the Charles River, you know, and then just north of the Charles River, you can just look right over the river, see each other. Two cities, Cambridge, and then smushed against Cambridge is Somerville, so I was in this nasty little basement apartment in Somerville, Massachusetts. Right down the street from Boston, where I lived for 15 years, something, a long time. Kind of put walls up around this kind of unfinished basement, and I paid $200 a month in rent, and I wrote lots and lots of songs, and I spent a lot of frustrated nights wishing that there were people out there that wanted to listen to my songs. This is called the Basement Song. It's cold down in the basement that I'm renting for the town. It's inside quiet, 3 more hours till the grind. When I'm arms and sound in unison, the sleeping town will rise to start another day with either fear or surprise. And the weather will be overcast, then I'll turn to rain. Folks will secretly be happy for the excuse to complain, but the rain will sound like symphonies cascading off this town's Victorian roof angles. The drops come rolling down, and my people together. Man, it's still send me on my way. Hey, yeah. Shiny shoes, he'll be at Old Town Hall, and his brother Chief of Police will catch truants at the mall, and mothers with their babies off to daycare and to work. I'll be heading to the alleys, that's where the poets lurk, and I'll be seeing things in harmony, smelling them in rhyme. What kind of day when you can see within at times the conflict then will rise to choose to concentrate on all the things I love and try to fix the things I hate. Dig our sitcoms, music, ball games, and French fries. And teachers, they need raises in our schools. They need supplies and resilience of the spirit. Lord's the will to carry on. The moon that chases the sun around the earth. Bring the dawn. Hey, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Talk to you gatherers a lot about this belief that I have that music is really a living art form, right? Songs can change all the time. And this third verse of the Basement Song, part of the song is that the third verse continues to change with each new president we have in office. So we're about to hear the Trump verse. And then after that, I'm going to play you a verse that I don't share too often. It's one of the verses that I wrote that first night I was writing this basement song down in the basement. Yeah, Trump, he got elected. Now he's got a whole new show with the media playing politics. The truth is hard to know. And I'm down in the basement trying to contemplate the scene. Russians hacked the DNC, and what the fuck that means. And the fat cat's got the lobbyists, restrictions get repealed. Meanwhile, they're stepping over homeless en route to make a deal. While kids with calloused fingers serving more and take their lumps. So the wealthy folks with SUVs can pay us at the pumps. But 100 years from now, all our troubles will be gone. We'll be searching out new planets after fucking up our own. Pick us out a winter plan for sturdy flag and then ship up a few religions and do it all over again. Hey, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, met Greg Brown and say I stole this song from you. We can't all be original. Plus my rent is due and I don't have health insurance. My car might be repossessed, cause playing on this guitar is the thing that I like best. And tomorrow at a bar about a half a mile from here, I'll make 50 and a burger. They'll make me buy my beer and the guitar will sound like fireworks exploding north and south, expressing all the feelings I can't push out through my mouth. Hey, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, one day Greg, you'll hear this song and it'll make me smile and you'll take me on the road and we will travel for a while and we will play together, trading verses, you and me. The crowd will want an encore. We'll give them 2 or 3, but for now the morning time will rear its head before too long. And you know I cannot sleep before I've finished up a song. And tomorrow when I muster up no nerve to play this through, I'll hit the final chord and give a silent nod to you. Hey, yeah. So that was the basement song. For those of you that have not heard the basement song before, when it comes to, there are songs that are more popular and less popular with, that have more streams and less streams, Spotify's and the YouTubes of the world. But that song, the basement song, for the last, 10 years, has been a song that those who were kind of following us and keeping tabs on what we were doing and what bars we were playing at and how we were growing, they would ask for the basement song. Now, it's challenging right now because there are a handful of other songs that I want to play, including a song inspired by this place that I'm in right now called Chelsea, You're All Right. But I want to play a song that might surprise you. That it was in my list, and it's a song that I've almost never played out. I like singing it with Karina sometimes. Maybe some of you have heard us sing it together, but it speaks to something that I've been talking about a lot, actually, on these gatherings, that I was experiencing, especially in these early days, and which is the frustration and the sadness. I was writing all these songs, and I didn't have anyone to play them for. I really wanted a community just like this one, but this wasn't going to happen for another 20 years, and I would write and I would write and I would write, and I'd spend my days calling and emailing as many clubs as I could to beg them to give me a shot to play, or maybe open up for a bigger, fancy artist. And some of you also know that I am a person who is prone to going in and out of some dark times, and some of my favorite songs come from those dark times. Some of the more formative parts of me have come from those dark times. Knowing that and continuing to tell myself that, remind myself that, helps me to get through those dark times today. So this was a song I wrote. I was in the basement, wishing I had a gig. I think maybe it was, I was sitting we had this little stone crumble. Used to be a wall, it was like kind of a stone crumble. And I think I was sitting on that in the side of the driveway, kind of watching the cars drive by, and I was writing this song. In a dim reflection of a move I make, I'll get the feeling every moment is at stake. In a quiet hour, no one else around, try to get her up the strength to take this demon down. As I keep my vision on the sky, in another day you do or die. And they tell me that with luck I'll make it by. Well, I'm waiting. last to know. Gonna feed the fire, gonna take my time. I'm gonna measure every breath and every fleeting sign. As I keep my vision on the sky. In another day, do or die. And they tell me that with luck I may get by. Well, I'm waiting. The streets are dark and empty. The leaves are on the ground. A little bit of vision laid in each brick of this town. A half a mile to Boston, autumn wind is cold. Someday I'll learn that I'm as wise as I am old. As I keep my vision on the sky. In another day of do or die. And they tell me that with luck I may get by. Well, I'm waiting. Waiting, yeah. I'm waiting. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to the wind at our backs. May it always blow steady wherever you roam. May it turn when you're ready to carry you home. May it keep you ahead of the rain. Raise up your glass. Let us drink to heavens above. Some say it's a glimpse of God's great design. Some say it's the science of all things combined. Maybe look up and always feel wonder. Here is to us all that we see. Here's to our hearts and the air that we breathe. Here's to a man, good company. Here's to the drink that we share. Raise up your glasses. Let us drink to this time that we have. These moments pass lightly, won't come again. May our lives all burn brightly right up to the end. them with joyous abandon. Raise up your glass, let us drink to the end of the day. Let's drink to our work when the working is through. Let us drink one to me, let us drink one to you. Let us drink one to those who aren't with us. Here is to us, and all that we see. Here's to our hearts and the air that we breathe. Here's to around in good company. Here's to the future, here's to the past. Let us drink one down slow, let us drink one down fast. Let us drink one as if this night is our last. Here's to the drink that we share. Oh, here's to the drink that we share. Thanks to my friends helping out at Ezra Group and Rally Sound. And thanks to our friends at Well Told. And thank you all for keeping me company. Please be safe. Keep on looking out for one another. And I'm going to be with my bandies tomorrow night hanging out. And I'm excited to see them.